Okay, so let us start today. Thank you, children. So I was just explaining with you regarding the Great Depression, then the type of budget, then price stability, about inflation. Yesterday we explained, then creating the employment opportunities, then preventing the market failure. Look, when market becomes a failure, it is something very dangerous to the economy. So it is a duty of the government to see that market is not becoming failure. Market fail hona nahi chahiye. When the market will fail, children, when demand is not equivalent to supply, market will fail. Demand should be equal to supply. When demand is not equal to supply, the market will fail. And the Great Depression of 1930, the Great Depression of 1930, 1 minute, I'm just switching on the Great Depression of 1930 showed that market can become failure. 1930 depression dikhaya ki market can become a failure. What is the reason? I told you, market has become, or market can become failure. Because we have seen that there was severe unemployment. There was no production. There was no incentive. So market become failure. When market become failure, the role of public finance is very important. Because government has to enter into the picture. Children understand it very clearly. When the market becomes failure, government has to interfere in the picture. What is the reason? When you are not managing the things, your parents will interfere. If the parents do not interfere, your system, you may collapse. So koi bhi parent ko apna bachcha girna dekhna nahi chahiye. So they will interfere. Similarly, when market becomes failure, government has to interfere. This is what has happened after 1930. Iska best example we are telling you, again the same example of COVID. How government has declared the first lockdown. 21 days ke liye lockdown has been declared. Because government realized that if the people starts moving, this COVID will become a more pandemic situation. So they started introducing the lockdowns. They had extended the lockdown and lot of guidelines have come because COVID has shown that market can become failure. So immediately government has interfered. This is the role of public finance. The government has to interfere whenever there is a need. Please remember that. Because no economy can function without government interference. Please remember, this has been understood after 1930. So many times I am repeating that 1930 because of the Great Depression. 1930 ke pehle, the world ka story itself was different. World thought that market was the leader. 1930 showed that market is not the leader. Government has to interfere. Even today, we are following the same system. So the main job of the government is, to control or stabilize the economy. After 1930, world is following functional finance. Very, very, very important question. After 1930, world is following functional finance. Madam, functional finance kya hai? That is what we are going to explain. The very first question is, who has introduced functional finance? Professor A.P. Lerner. A.P. Lerner has introduced functional finance. It's a very good question for objective. Who has introduced functional finance? Look, before 1930, take down, world followed sound finance. Before 1930, world followed sound finance. After 1930, world followed functional finance. I'm repeating, before 1930, world followed sound finance. After 1930, world has followed functional finance. So what is functional finance? Second line dekho, that is functional finance. The more role of the state has become the policy. Functional finance means state is powerful. That is the meaning of the term functional finance. What is functional finance? State is significant. Market is insignificant. Market is insignificant. I will write it over here. Functional finance. बोलने का नहीं. Functional finance. Market is failure. First point. Second point, state or the government has to play the key role. That is functional finance. The state or the government has to play the key role. Till today, world is following functional finance. After 1930, functional finance is very important. After 1930, functional finance is very important. So somebody is asking you, what is functional finance? What will be your answer? Functional finance concept has been introduced by whom? A.P. Lerner, perfectly right. And when it has become important? After 1930, that is also right. What is functional finance? The state has to play key role, maximum role for the state. Maximum role for the state. I am just rubbing this. I wanted to write you something. Before 1930, world was following sound finance. Before 1930, world was following sound finance. This was the period of JB. ये आपने सेम 3 में भी पढ़ा है. This was the period of JB. What was sound finance? Minimum role of government. Minimum role of government and maximum role to market. Maximum role to market. So there are two types of finances. One is sound finance, other is functional finance. Before 1930, world was following what? Sound finance, because market was predominant. I told you yesterday, government was playing the role of a police. So the state was insignificant. After 1930, depression, during the period of depression, functional finance become very important. And that functional finance was introduced by A.P. Leonard. Even in the dream, you should be able to tell that point. Abba P. Leonard, very, very famous economist. He said that we cannot leave the market to do whatever the market wants, because market will become failure. In that circumstances, only the government can help the people. Till today, the world is depending upon functional finance. Problem aa jayega, turant government picture mein aayega. So that economy depression mein girega nahi. What is the purpose of this? This is the purpose. Economy either girna nahi chahiye, because that point is depression. Developed countries followed this. J.M. Keynes आपने पढ़ा है, Keynesian theory of employment. So all the modern economists supported functional finance. After Great Depression, it became very popular. I already told you. Now, the next job of or the scope of functional public finance is fiscal operation. First, see that spelling. It is fiscal. Don't write P-H-Y. This is F-I-S. What do you mean by fiscal? Go. Fiscal means anything relating to government. Fiscal. Anything relating to government is known as fiscal. So government kya karega? Fiscal operation means any operation done by government. That is known as fiscal. 1 minute, yes children, online children, you are right. So fiscal operations mean what all things are coming. First one is allocation of resources. Allocation of resources. Allocation mean government को क्या क्या देखना पड़ेगा? First is taxes. First is taxes. I told you what should be the level of tax. Tax increase करेगा या कम करेगा. Then another point is you take the case of GST. Recently, government has introduced GST, goods and services tax. So whether to increase it or to reduce it. Service tax, increase it or decrease it. So many things are there. So taxation, already we are going to study one full module. Taxation is the main source of revenue to the government. Government ka income chahiye, then only they can plan the expenditure. And the income comes from taxation. Main income comes from taxation. I told you I pay income tax because I am getting the salary. You are paying GST. You are paying, service tax. Whenever you are recharging your mobile, you are paying the service tax. So individual will be paying one tax or other. Be careful. Fiscal operation mein ye sab kuch padega kam. This is subsidy. What do you mean by subsidy? Ligo. Financial help given by government. Financial help provided by government. I will tell you one example. Other examples you will have to tell. India mein government is spending more than 50,000 crore on subsidy. Government is every year they are spending more than 50,000 crore. Financial support देता है. किसको देता है, कैसा देता है? I will tell you. The best example, last week, almost all the newspaper channels, everywhere it has come, government has increased the price of LPG cylinder. Government has increased the price of LPG cylinder. Seetha you did not bother because it was not for domestic. आपका घर का LPG सिलेंडर का प्राइस नहीं बढ़ाया, लेकिन किसका बढ़ाया? कमर्शियल का. Government has increased the price of gas cylinder of commercial. How much they have increased? Actually, this is too much. All on a sudden, government has increased 250 rupees. So if 250 rupees सुनने पर ही hotel people become unconscious. Already COVID की वजह से 2 years they suffered with great difficulty. They opened the hotel now, and government has increased the price of petrol, this gas. When government is increasing the price, what does it mean? Subsidy is reduced. Subsidy is reduced. Please remember. When government is increasing the price of gas, subsidy is reduced. I will tell you why. Today, at your home, how much your mother is paying for gas cylinder? थोड़ा आवाज से बोलो. गैस सिलेंडर के लिए कितना देता है मंथली या 2 मंथली? 1000 rupees. We are using pipeline gas. कॉलोनी में पाइपलाइन गैस है. मेरा बिल आता है 600 रुपये. On an average, 600 रुपये आएगा. So you are paying 1000 rupees. 400 rupees more for the gas cylinder. Some 10 years before, down the line, I was paying, very clearly remembering, 300 rupees for the gas cylinder. When pipeline was not there, we were using the cylinder. 300 rupee was the price of one cylinder. Madam, abhi ye kaisa 1000 ho gaya? That is what the young children has to understand. Today the same gas cylinder, weight increase nahi hua, color change nahi hua, kuch bhi nahi hua. Lekin price has touched 1000 rupee. What is the reason, children? Because government has reduced the subsidy. This is the answer. Government has reduced the subsidy. Slowly you will have to understand. I told you, you have to live in a world where there are full of problems. So in that circumstances, आपके लिए subject understand होना is very important. You may pass objectives में, but absolutely no use. Because your building is very weak. Foundation है नहीं. गिर जाएगा किधर भी जाकर. So the foundation has to be strong. So I was explaining, how did 300 become 1000? That is our question. Earlier, any point of time, you know that India mein gas cylinder is produced by BPCL, Chembur mein hai HPCL, IOC, Indian Oil Corporation. These are the companies which are producing that gas cylinder, jo ghar mein aata hai wo. Earlier, we were paying 350 rupees or say 300 rupees. But the original price of the cylinder at any point of time is 750. I am talking about the earlier time. Original price of the cylinder was 750. I was paying only 300. Beach ka 400 kaun dega? Beach ka 400, company wants 750. I am paying the company only 300. 700 minus 300 is 450. Oh, 450, who will give to whom? Your young children. Government will give to the company. Government will come and give to the company. Suppose BPCL is producing 1 lakh gas cylinder. India ka population में कुछ भी नहीं है वो. 1 lakh gas cylinder हर month produce करता है BPCL. So 300 rupee main देगा because I am buying the cylinder. ऊपर का जो 450 है, 750 minus 300, that government will give to company. It is known as subsidy. My point is that it is known as subsidy. Madam, अभी भी confusion है. 1000 rupees क्यों हो गया? 1000 rupees क्यों हो गया? That is also my question. Last 2 years, government has withdrawn the subsidy. Government अपना subsidy withdraw कर दिया. Because that 400 rupee जो company को देता था, now they are not giving. So who has to give that now? Public. Simple. You are living in India, you have to understand. That is why the price has gone up. Because government stopped giving subsidy. Why and what, that we will see later. Similar, everywhere you can see the moment government ka support kam hone par price will increase. You please remember that. Education. I don't know, you are paying the least fees. Same college, same different floors, children are paying 5 times than or 4 times than your fees. ये भी छोड़ो. Somaya has become university. देखने के लिए बहुत अच्छा है मैडम. ओके, जाकर देख रहा उसके लिए लायक है. BMS का फीस is 1,50,000 per year. Somaya में. I am not talking any Hindi film. Real. इधर से 5-10 मिनट का रास्ता. BMS का 1 year fees is 1,50,000, 1,20,000 or 1,50,000. 3 year student has to pay 4.5 lakh. Whereas all other colleges are charging 20,000 per year. Why Somaya is charging 1,50,000? Because it's a private university. No government support. When there is a government support, your fees will be less. The moment government support is withdrawn, the fees will increase. समझ में आता है? You have to understand, because modern economy is becoming privatized economy. Everywhere the cost will increase. Another, simple example. India में आप graduate होता है BCom का. Say 9,000 rupees fees है. 9,000 into 3, 27,000, 3 year ka. Okay, 27,000, another 5,000 we are adding. Examination fees, XYZ, whatever it is. Traveling and all that. So 32,000 max to maximum 35,000 में आपका graduation हो जाएगा. Suppose that, somebody is studying in US, the course, 3 year ka. Per year, they will have to pay 15 lakhs. अब बोलेगा मैडम आज आप सुबह कुछ भी बोलते हैं. Student has to pay 15 lakhs. I am not absolutely not exaggerating. आपका तो 52,000 है, 45,000 है जो है, उधर 15 lakhs per year minimum. What is the reason? There is no subsidy in education. US never gives subsidy for higher education. जिसको पढ़ना चाहिए, they can take the loan, they can do the part-time job, and they can pay the fees. That is why everybody says undergraduate study in US is the most expensive. Similar story, England and all the countries, because education is not subsidized. Young children, your education is subsidized. Because major, एक ordinary teacher का, I'm talking about aided college. Aided college में on an average, new teacher का starting salary is 1 lakh rupees per month. New teacher का. Okay, so इतना हमारा college तो छोटा है. There are big colleges where no number of teachers are more. So government has to pay the fees. Government has to pay their salary. So government give the subsidy. India में. Foreign country में no subsidy on education. चाहिए पर पढ़ने का, otherwise higher education में मत जाओ. So why I am telling is public finance, once you study, you will understand so many things. You will realize that how the government is helping. उसका भी एग्जाम्पल देखो. Early morning getting up, mummy is giving a cup of tea or coffee, drinking and running. Late होता है करके भागता है. Suppose that mother goes to village. You yourself have to make the tea or coffee. Then you will realize, oh, ये तो बहुत बड़ा काम है. I have to drink coffee. मेरा ब्रदर को भी देने का है, मेरा छोटा सिस्टर को भी देने का है, उड़ेगा भी नहीं ये लोग. मेरे को कॉलेज जाने का है, अम्मी होने पर सब कुछ मिलता था. Subsidy story is also same story. The moment government withdraw the subsidy, price will shoot up. Please remember that. So public finance में what we will study? We will study about the subsidy. Government किसको subsidy देता है, क्यों देता है? Education में देता है, fertilizer में देता है, credit में देता है. Everywhere government is giving the subsidy. But remember, now India is going for privatization. When we go for privatization, क्या होगा? Subsidy will be reduced. Because private won't believe in this subsidy concept. जिसको चाहिए 45,000 या 45 lakh, let them study. That is why America में graduate students are less. Because it is very expensive. That no, but India means certain things are very, very cheap. Because there is heavy subsidy. Please remember that. So managing the subsidy is the role of government. And I told you, take the case of countries like Canada. Canada में operation तो इतना कम है. Okay, Mumbai station मतलब से BT side में वो cruise ship peak period का population के जैसा है Canada का population. उधर government is giving health insurance to everybody free of charge. Canada में health insurance is free. मैडम ये हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस ही समझ में नहीं आता है, आप बोलते वो फ्री है करके. I told you, if you become sick, अभी you are afraid. Chembur में there is a Joy hospital, Zen hospital. Earlier it was Joy, now it is a Zen. Okay, Zen hospital है. Nobody touch wood, it should not happen. When somebody becomes sick, you are admitting the patient over there. First they will say deposit 50,000. Because it's a private hospital. Same story with Lilavadi or Fortis, wherever you are going. First deposit the money. Aage ka aage. Because they are private hospitals. They are the private hospitals. Whereas in Canada, you become sick. You don't have to pay, anything rather. Because everybody is covered by insurance. And government is taking care of that. World में health facilities में Canada is number 1. Similarly, London, UK में, when a small child is born for 1 year, all the vaccination of the child and of the mother is free because it is given by the government. Country to country, it will change. What is the reason? Because subsidy is decided by the country. So India maybe government is giving the subsidy, foreign country maybe they are giving the subsidy. Because subsidy is the financial help. The moment subsidy come karega, price will shoot up. Abhi up slowly, you see that. I'm talking about schools. म्युनिसिपल स्कूल कंटिन्यू होगा म्युनिसिपल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जो जाता है वो लोगों के लिए, लेकिन जो प्राइवेट स्कूल्स है अभी गवर्नमेंट एड देता है. अब देखो डाउन 5 years गवर्नमेंट विल रिड्यूस द एड. अभी मेनी स्कूल्स के लिए गवर्नमेंट इज गिविंग द सैलरी. सो टीचर्स आर गेटिंग गुड सैलरी, 50,000 60,000, नॉट ए बैड अमाउंट फॉर ए स्कूल टीचर. अभी जो नया स्कूल स्टार्ट होता है, nowhere government is giving the salary. Everything is private. Oh, madam, इधर एंट्री करने का टाइम एक स्कूल है सीबीएसई, नारायण गुरु में है, देखा है नहीं, ग्राउंड फ्लोर में सेंट्रल बोर्ड ऑफ सेकेंडरी एजुकेशन सीबीएसई. Okay, I think some 45,000, some plus and minus is the fees for KG class, because government will not give the subsidy. 10 मिनट आगे जाओ वो सोमैया में भी है सीबीएसई. सीबीएसई is one of the best one for your information. इंडिया का नंबर 1 एजुकेशन है सीबीएसई का, very systematic. सोमैया में भी they are providing CBSE schooling. You know what is the fees? 1,75,000 LKG student ka fees. Because no subsidy. Why we are telling you, children, please understand, situation is totally changing. Now the story is not like it was 25 years before. Everywhere government is reducing the subsidy. Subsidy kam karne par kya hoga? Price badhega. So public finance, maybe we will study how the government is giving the subsidy. Okay. Public expenditure we will continue tomorrow. Let us see. Aapka attendance lena. ये लोग तो, my dear children, oh very nice of you. Online वाला, could you understand? डालो chat box में. Very good children. I am sharing the attendance.